Hi guys, I wanted to go through some of the finer details of this assessment task, so the Convict database. Hopefully you've all done this part about downloading the table into the database. I think we all got through that. But I wanted to talk more about the designing phase of this. Now, I'm not sure how well everybody read this, but it's sort of it's not exactly clear what it's asking you to do, but so I'll show you what I think it means. So design a form layout with a clear interface. Use the header areas for titles and logo and keep this consistent throughout the project. Imagine it may be used in a daily with a touchscreen interface in a museum. Okay, so it's expected that maybe someone would use it and you'd be searching for information or certain things, and it's a user-friendly thing. Okay, so consider color scheme, placement of fields and buttons, font size, and so on. Okay, so this is an essential element of this, and I don't think a lot of you considered this. Okay, so it's got to have a design element to it. I've done a really simple version that I'm going to show you. First of all, let's see how much of this we've done. We've opened the database application, imported the tab, we've done all that, we've added the fields, and create some forms to present the data in an appropriate format. Include a startup form. Okay, so we haven't really talked about this, but when you enter a database, you don't, what you're presented with is not a table. Often it's a form. Now, what I've done, so I've got all these objects here. I've created a startup form. Okay, so if you have a look at this form I've created, okay, all it is just a blank form. It's got no fields or anything like that, and you can do that. It's quite easy to do. You just create a blank form. Okay, maybe I'll just show you a dummy one. Okay, so in form 1, you can add all these things. You can add text, you can add images, you can add buttons, you can add all sorts of things. Okay, so I've grabbed a picture off the internet and I've inserted the image there, and I've had so I'll just show you just a little title. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create some links to some of these other things that I've created that the question has asked me to do. So let's just go through those one by one, and I'll show you how to sort of set something like that up. The queries, I think the detail of those I'm going to let you do yourself. But let's have a look at the first thing here. So create some forms to present the data in an appropriate format, include a startup form. So what I've done there, I've got my startup form, but I've also got another form which maybe you would have done, but has got the details of everyone. It's searchable. Okay, you can search through and have a look to see whoever's there. Okay, so someone might want to search for their relative or something like that. Okay, so you can cycle through if you want as well. All right, so it's just a simple create. It's a form just generated by the access. Okay, so I saved both of those. Notice how I'm naming what these all are. Okay, so that's a really important thing, otherwise, so you don't get confused later on. I'll just close some of these things because sometimes it doesn't like it if you're working on something else when you're if they're all linked, all the tables are linked and stuff like that. Queries, it doesn't like it. Okay, so next thing, so I did my form, I did my startup form. Now, perform a sort function on value of crime. Who committed this crime and what was it? Okay, so the value of crime. Now, it's asking you to do a query. Okay, so do a query on the value of crime. Now, my query looks like that. I'm not going to show you the design part of that. I've only included things that are essential. I haven't put everything in. Okay, so given name, family name, crime, and value. You might notice how I've actually arranged the. Okay, so that's the value of the crime. Now this third bit. Okay, so of all the convicts in your database, who was the last person to die and what year was it? Okay, so query by year of death. Let me just close that. And here's my year of death. Okay, so that's another query. Again, it doesn't have everything in it. It's just got, I've selected the things that I want. This is all these. You don't need to have all that information. Okay, so that's your year of death. You can have a go at doing that query yourself. And create queries to find all convicts who are under the age of 21 when they left England and who were convicted of stealing. Save these queries. Okay, so I think this is referring to all the queries that we've done in the last 6. Okay, you should be saved. If you've done something that you're happy with, you should save it anyway. Okay, it should go without saying. So the second last one was the query under 20 stealing. Okay, so if you look at that, I've got something's gone wrong there because it's just have a look at everyone. No, something's gone wrong there. I haven't actually. Let's have a look at the. Something's gone wrong with that query anyway. I haven't. Let's have a look. Okay, so let's see. Let me just. Okay, I found out what I did wrong there. So when I specified less than 21, I tried to do something fancy where I also filtered out the negative ones, because that actually doesn't. If you read the raw data, -1 means that there was nothing recorded. So I wanted to get rid of that because you can't actually tell how old they were, and I just used the wrong syntax. So if you run that, it's got your age. Okay, so the youngest person was 13. That's a bit scary, actually. Anyway, so that's how you do the age and crime stealing. You might want to have a quick look at how I've done the crime there. Okay, so that's how you. So these little asterisks is a wildcard, so it'll look for anything that has stealing in it. Return that value. Okay, so save that query. Let's close it. Save it. Now, I'll talk about the mail merge at another time. What I wanted to show you was what I was going to do with the. So I've done a report on one of these. Okay, so the question is asking, produce reports to present the results of the query you have created. Format them appropriately. Okay, so I've done one report here. I would do all of these eventually, but so one report. This is my value of the crime. Okay, so this is something that might be printed out at some stage. Okay, so it's formatted in a nice orderly table. Kind of just looks like a query anyway, but it's got a nice heading. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I think it sort of means to do. I'll close that. Okay, now this is my startup form. Now, what you can do is, where are we? Okay, when you're in design view, okay, so this is what the design view look like. You can add all these things. Now, one thing that's interesting that you can add is this button here. Okay, so you can place a button form here, and it lets you assign things to it. Okay, so it's got all these categories, and I want to look at report operations. Okay, so if I go click on that, report operations, I want to open report. Okay, so I'm going to go next. Now it gives me a, I didn't name that properly, but anyway, so the query value of crime is that report I created before. Okay, which gives you the list of those people and how much their crime was worth. So you click on that. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Let's just say, okay, well, let's just see what that does. See what happens if I press next. Okay, so we're going to, it asks you what you want to call the button. We're going to call it value of crime. Okay, so that should hopefully does what I think it does. It's going to allow you to open that report just by pushing a button on the splash screen. Okay, so it's just got this. I probably could have put text there. All right, so that button now. Okay, so it's dropped a little button on my. This is the interface that people might see. Okay, so if I click on that, it automatically brings up the value of the crime. Okay, so I think that's what it means by a startup form. Okay, so you can create links to all these queries on this startup form. Okay, so this would be the interface that you would use instead of going to all these things. You can actually package these databases up whereby you don't see any of this stuff. Okay, and you're presented with this little startup form, and you can navigate through a database like that. In fact, that's how they should be set up in real life. Okay, so I haven't got around to talking about the mail merge function. Hopefully I might do that in a future video. Mail merge simply means to create reports that would be set up for mailing out to people. So you'd have one record per page. Okay, so I might address that in a future video. Have a go at all these queries, reports, and have a go at setting up a startup form. Okay, and you might want to, yeah, so see you go with that. Bye for now.